Hi guys, I am sitting here on my patio. This probably isn't the cutest view, both of me and my patio, but this is where I'm going to be filming Asknikkip today, and yeah, hopefully you all can deal with it, and I'm going to jump right in. I hope everyone is doing well, by the way. So, here we go. Hi, Nikki. I have been clean for a long time now from self-harm, but one or two of my scars are still obvious. No one knows I self-harm, and yesterday I had a couple friends over, and one of them caught me off guard and noticed the small scars on my arm. I didn't have a huge problem about him knowing until he decided to shout to the room, "Have you been slitting your wrists?" and then holding up my arm to show everyone. I know feel too open. I'm not sure what that means. And I'm paranoid that they are going, I now feel too open and I'm paranoid that they're going to tell my family and everyone at school and that they will talk about me behind my back because of it. I have no idea about how I should talk to them about it or if I should even talk to them about it in the first place. Any advice on what I should do? Thank you so much. Okay, so this is something, Bowser, stay calm. I want everyone to give their, thoughts and opinion in the comment section. I have a couple different thoughts about this. Bowser, but I can't get them out if my dog is going crazy. Bowser! No. He gets upset at people walking by. So, my first thought about this, my first thought off the top of my head was that being on YouTube, people, because I'm putting myself on a screen on the internet and there is a comment section for people to talk, I don't want to say come to a realization because I think I still struggle with this because I think it's just a human nature thing. But in some ways I have kind of come to a realization that people are going to talk no matter what. And not even just people, people are going to talk, because we all talk. We're all guilty of it, I think, if we're honest, that people just talk. And I think there is something very freeing about being open and just kind of being honest about what's going on or what you're dealing with. Because for me, I know if people were going to talk anyways, I would rather have them knowing the truth about things than I don't know, just making things up. I don't know if I'm running my mouth. The point of that is, if I were in your shoes, I guess. I mean, I wasn't self-harming, and I know that there's a lot of history behind that gets one to that point. But my reaction would be, I would want to talk to my friends about it, and I would want to be open and be like, hey, and this is easier said than done. Believe me, I know. I was just talking to my mom about this today, about how I really want to work on being more open with people, because it is, there is this tendency to want to be like this with people because you don't want to get hurt. But I feel like something like that could not only help your friends possibly if they're secretly struggling with their own kind of self-harm, because I think everybody struggles with self-harm in different ways, different things that they do, because we're all dealing with stuff. So I think that sometimes that being open with your flaws and things that you are struggling with can help other people deal with the things that they're struggling with, because it helps them realize that they're not alone. And so he probably had that reaction because that is scary to see that. It's physical evidence of what you're dealing with. So he probably did not mean that and you probably know this. He didn't mean that in a whoa, what's wrong with you kind of way, but in a whoa, are you okay kind of way, and to bring it up maybe to that friend, or if you guys are ever in a setting in a house again, maybe not at school, but to say hey, I want to bring up something that's kind of awkward and highly uncomfortable for me to bring up, but I just want to bring it up and I don't really know how to open this. But X amount, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, Bobby, or whatever his name is, shouted to you guys that I had scars on my wrists, and I wanted to talk to you about it because you are my friends, and let you know that I did used to struggle with cutting, and it was something that was in my past, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm also it's something that I've worked through, and I just wanted you guys to know that I'm not dealing with that anymore, but I have dealt with that in my past. That being said, my family doesn't know about it. I would appreciate it if you kept it kind of quiet, which, by the way, I think your family should know about it. At least that's just kind of my initial opinion, because, I don't know, family wants to know about those things. I'm sure your parents would want to know. once again, just initial response. I feel like I've said that a bunch of times in this video, but that's because I'm just responding to a letter. I'm not in your shoes. I haven't gone through all the things you've gone through, and I don't know all of the details of everything. But like letting family know about things you're going through when you're going through hard things is good, and keeping the communication open with your parents is a good thing. So yeah, I feel like this was a very vaguely answered video, but that's what I would say. I would say to bring it up to your friends and let them know and be like, this is something I struggled with, and I'm really proud that I was able to get through it. But yeah, that was what was going on. And $10 says that someone might chime in that they've struggled with the same thing, or that they cope with their pain in like a different way, and it might start a cool conversation. And even if it doesn't, and even if everyone's silent and they're like, oh, all right, and kind of awkward about it, know in your head, yeah, that might be an outcome, but like you don't, Bowser, sorry. You don't know the kind of seeds you've planted in someone's head, and maybe has made them feel less alone. So even if their responses are kind of bland or like, whatever, just know being open and honest is a good thing. And you may have helped some of your friends without realizing it. So that's my thought, guys. As always, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, because you guys, it's just interesting to hear everyone's opinions. So that is that question. Now, the Twitter question, I kind of peeked at it and I find it kind of funny. It says, how do you keep yourself organized when you have so much going on and still have a husband to take care of? All right, I'm about to be really real here, guys. I definitely do not keep everything organized. In fact, I was crying to Dan the other night because I feel like I don't do a good job of keeping things together. And in fact, I feel like I don't do a good job of keeping anything together. And I think it's really easy to look at other people, especially on the internet, but even in real life, like people that you know, and then you see their Facebook or whatever, or just encountering them or coming over to their house when it's picked up. It's really easy to look at people and be like, why am I not so together? Dan made a really good point, though, because I was really upset. Like, I'm talking about this very lightly, but I was really upset, and I really felt like a schmuck. Like, I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, I work from home. Why can't I have everything together more? Why is, like, everything always a mess? Like, nothing is ever really, like, that put together. And, like, I felt like a mess. And Dan was like, dude, anyone can say that about their life. Like, everyone, if they want to look at their life from that point of view, like, picking things apart, anyone can say that about their life. Like, this isn't really that great. That isn't really that great. That's not together. This isn't together. And he was like, stop it. Like, everyone can find something in every area of their life, and that's depressing, and that doesn't help you move forward. He was like, you need to think about the things, A, that you love, and just enjoy about life, and B, the things that you are doing right. And that is so hard, especially as a girl, because it's easy to see the things that we mess up. And so I don't have an answer to that, because I'm constantly trying, and I think that that's very important, to not give up the fight in like anything in life, and relationships, in growing yourself and being a better person. It's important to not give up the fight and to find ways to stay excited and pumped and motivated, but to know that, like, how do you word this? I think we can't think highly enough of ourselves to think that we actually could get something perfect, but to know it's important to keep going. Because when you think, like, deep down inside, like, if I tried hard enough, I could just get this perfect, you're setting yourself up for failure, because you cannot get anything perfect. At least that's what I believe, and it's also kind of tied into my faith. Like, I personally just don't believe that anyone can ever be perfect, and I actually think that Jesus was the only perfect person that ever lived, but, like, no one can be perfect. So it's like, if you know that, rather than thinking, like, if I just did better, I could be, I think it sets yourself up for being really depressed, because you're just not going to hit that mark. But it's a fine line of, like, knowing that, but still going, all right, but I still need to keep trying to improve the quality of my life, to try to help other people more, to like, be a better lover in terms of, like, showing other people love and learning how other people need love. And it's a constant thing in life, and finding out how to keep going without feeling downtrodden and focusing on what we're not doing right is hard. But I think knowing that you will never do everything right is, like, an important step to that, and keeping that in mind. At least that's what I'm trying to do. But you're not, I guess you didn't really complain. You just asked a question. I was going to say, you're not alone, don't worry. You didn't really sound worried. You're just asking. But I'm definitely not perfect. That's the point of that. So leave your comments and suggestions on everything, like on things that you do to keep motivated and pumped about life, and things that you do to try to like stay organized and on top of it, because I always find that interesting. I like making those kind of videos sometimes, like the things that I do, and I like watching what other people do because, yeah, it's a process. So this was a long Ask Nikki. I just sat down and started rambling. That's it, guys. Send your messages and your questions to asknikkip@gmail.com or use the hashtag AskNikkiP. I've got a tiger on my shirt with a crown, like a flower crown on, so that's exciting. I got that at Whole Foods, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.